Program from the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, is now at your doorstep.
By the way, what is corporate governance and what are its key pillars?
Will there be any conflict of interest if a person combines the roles of a chairman and a chief executive officer in a corporate organization?
What can Nigeria do to gain international recognition in the context of the application of corporate governance?
These and many more questions will be answered on
Corporate Governance Platform, a program designed to inform and educate our numerous viewers on the adoption of corporate governance best practices by corporate entities.
Join the Corporate Governance Platform crew every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. on MITV, your talent station, via DSTV 255 and UHF 43.
Corporate Governance Platform, your strategy for the adoption of corporate governance best practices by corporate entities. Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, the hub of governance profession.
Corporate Governance Platform, a program from the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, is now at your doorstep.
By the way, what is corporate governance and what are its key pillars?
Will there be any conflict of interest if a person combines the roles of a chairman and a chief executive officer in a corporate organization?
What can Nigeria do to gain international recognition in the context of the application of corporate governance?
These and many more questions will be answered on
Corporate Governance Platform, a program designed to inform and educate our numerous viewers on the adoption of corporate governance best practices by corporate entities.
Join the Corporate Governance Platform crew every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. on MITV, your talent station, via DSTV 255 and UHF 43.
Corporate Governance Platform, your strategy for the adoption of corporate governance best practices by corporate entities. Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Corporate Governance Platform. Live from the studio of MITV here in Lagos. I am Tunde Odeyemi, your anchorman. And in today's episode, we are going to take a look at corporate meetings as a vehicle of attaining strategic objectives. And joining me in the studio to discuss this important topic is Mr. Yomi Adebanjo. Mr. Yomi Adebanjo is a distinguished fellow of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria and is also a council member. Mr. Adebanjo is also the company secretary of FCIS Healthcare PLC. Mr. Adebanjo, you are welcome to Corporate Governance Platform.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you for finding time to join us on the program.
Happy New Year.
Same to you. This is perhaps the second time you'll be coming on the show.
Exactly.
Thank you for finding the show worthy.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Let's go straight to the point, Mr. Adebanjo. Today we want to discuss corporate meetings as a vehicle of attaining strategic objectives. Strategic objectives of the board of directors. Now, I would like to start by asking what is meant by the term board of directors?
Board of directors, if we take it lay, we simply say it's a collective noun. Meaning a collection of directors. And that would be right.
Okay.
But the word director itself is not a common construction. It's not a word used in the ordinary common language.
Okay.
A director is one that functions as a director. And that function is not the ordinary function that you and I ordinarily perform on day to day as officers or managers of a company. So it must be such functions as the law sees as only being dischargeable by somebody who occupies a position of director. So all such people that are recognized, so to say, as a matter of law, that they have discharged certain roles or certain functions that is ordinarily expected of somebody who is a director. That is a director. So it's not a question of hierarchy per se. It's not a question of he's an organ in the office. It's a question of what does he do or normally do in relation to the affairs of the company. Is he in a position that whatever he does is deemed to have been done by the company and is occupying and discharging that function in an atmosphere of authority? He's a director. Whether you call him such, it's a question of function. It's a question of what has he done, strictly speaking.
Okay, with the understanding of the terms of director from the perspective of the function of director, we want to go into meetings. Why is effective board meeting so regarded as very important in corporate governance?
Again, if we take it from where we are coming from, that is, if we understand who a director is, we then need to also go through the first principles in the Code of Corporate Governance, talking about the board. In fact, the role of the board is so important that almost every code have been opportune to go through across geographical locations. They take the issue of board as number one.
Okay.
Because that is where things can get better or things can go wrong. So the importance of the board meeting is so that there must be an avenue for agreeing objectives, strategy, and compliance. We can't stand here and say the function of the board is only to set strategic direction in commerce. No. It is also key for the board to meet. In fact, what the law says is that the board shall meet to discharge their functions. So if you take it from that angle, it is not a question of liberty that they have to meet, but they have to meet as a body to be able to have been seen to be discharging their common objectives. And these objectives is not only going to be viewed and should not always be viewed in commerce or in commercial terms. As when you say the board has met to approve the budget, that is just one of the items that the board should be saddled with. It is paramount also, especially at this time, having the myriad of regulations and statutory provisions that companies will have to obey, that they meet to attend to those commercial things, to attend to those contractual things. That is why a company won't go into certain contracts without asking for board approval. Wow. And they must be seen to have discharged that function at a formal forum where the board can be seen to have actually met, having a quorum. And thirdly, it is an era of rigorous compliance, regime. So they must meet. And part of what they must also attend to going forward, even in the past, are compliance issues.
So what you're saying is that the meeting of the board...
So it is expensive. I mean, it is important to that extent, given the fact that there are many things they have to attend to. And I've mentioned just 3 of them.
You have mentioned 3 of them.
You can't delegate it, so to say, to a lesser organ of the business.
And you have also mentioned that it's a compliance issue which the board must ensure that they comply with, right?
Yeah, meeting by directors, I said that their meeting becomes so important given the nature of business or businesses.
Wow.
That even the law put on their doorstep, that they must see to it, you know.
Okay. I want to talk about the word effective. What does the word effective signify in effective board meeting? That word effective, I want you to shed more light on that.
You see, in those days in school, they taught us the 3 E's of management. They say effectiveness, efficiency, and economy. Now, if I take it from that angle, I will ask the question, what does it mean to have an effective board or an effective board meeting? It will be effective if they are able to discharge some of the functions that directors are ordinarily expected to discharge.
Okay.
And for that meeting to be effective, we have to look at the structure around that meeting. You know, what administrative support is the board able to leverage when talking about their meetings? What notice do they have of the meeting? How is their board pack arranged? Are they privileged or opportune to have executive summary of a lengthy report? If their meeting structured in such a way that time is allocated effectively, if the chairman alive to his or her responsibilities, do directors themselves understand their fiduciary duties and the fact that their liabilities coexist? Is every board member properly inducted to understand that I have a role which is not so different from that of the chairman, that the chairman is one of us, and I won't fetter my discretion, that I will be able and I won't shy away from saying what I have to say. Because a board meeting is only as effective as the temerity that the directors bring to it. It's as effective as the competence of the company secretary.
Wonderful.
At ensuring that what this meeting needs to take decisions that can be translated into action is available. So, effectiveness of board meetings will rest on certain things. Number one, the administrative support that the secretariat can provide.
Okay.
Do they have the materials and having it on time? Is the meeting properly organized? Do the chairman know what he's doing? Are the directors individually alive to their roles as a fiduciary? You know, when all of these things are present, we are then looking at the meeting doesn't end simply because somebody has moved that they adjourned, or that the meeting be adjourned, or that the meeting be, it will come to a close. But because the decisions at that meeting must be translated.
Wonderful.
Oftentimes, the support of the secretary will help in getting that done.
Wow.
It is not the chairman that will now issue a memo to those concerned, who ordinarily shouldn't be at the board meeting because they're not directors. But they must translate the board decision into action. So, effectiveness of board meetings will not stop at the point of closing the meeting. It goes on. And that's why I said the support they have administratively, the understanding of individual directors of their roles, all will come together to play a very major role.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adebanjo, for breaking it down as simple as it should be. We need to go for a very short break. When we come back, we'll continue the discussion with Mr. Debanjo. Please don't go away.
Corporate Governance Platform, a program from the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, is now at your doorstep.
By the way, what is corporate governance and what are its key pillars?
Will there be any conflict of interest if our person combines the roles of our chairman and a chief executive officer in a corporate organization?
What can Nigeria do to gain international recognition in the context of the application of corporate governance?
These and many more questions will be answered on
Corporate Governance Platform, a program designed to inform and educate our numerous viewers on the adoption of corporate governance best practices by corporate entities.
Join the Corporate Governance Platform crew every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. on MITV, your talent station via DSTV 255 and UHF 43.
Corporate Governance Platform, your strategy for the adoption of corporate governance best practices by corporate entities. Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.
You are welcome back. It's the Corporate Governance Platform, and we are still discussing corporate meetings as a vehicle of attaining strategic objectives. And I have Mr. Yomi Adebanjo in the studio leading the discussion. Mr. Adebanjo, you've actually broken down the effectiveness of effective board meeting. But what are the key issues that are crucial for effective board meeting?
Just continue from where I stopped.
Yeah.
You must have a board that understands their role. That is key. You must also have a chairman that do not just have the wherewithal in terms of business acumen. He should also understand the business of the company.
Okay.
You should have a board made up of directors who in their individual capacity understand the specific role expected of them. That is why sometimes when we do induction for a board, we often have directors. Do you know why you have been appointed? Do you know? Because it is key even for those appointing directors to let them know why we have chosen you. So that constantly reminding yourself of that, your contribution to the board will often be above board.
Okay, let's talk about the provision of the Code of Corporate Governance. The code in relations to board says that every director should endeavor to attend all board meetings. The attendance record of directors should be among the criteria for re-election of the director. Why do you think it is desirable for the attendance record to be used as among the criteria for directors' re-election?
Directors, first and foremost, have a fiduciary duty.
Yeah.
What we call fiduciary, in essence, is a duty you can liken to a duty of trustee. Somebody who must take care. Somebody who must be like a guardian. Yoruba is easier to explain one thing, that if you are blowing a knot for the blind,
Yeah.
you should be willing so that he knows you are not eating part of it. So they stand in that kind of position to the company they are managing or directing.
Okay.
And to the extent that they have a duty of skill and care. How do you care for something you don't even know about? How do you care when you don't attend meetings? The level of care they can have for the company, aside from those things they can do outside of the board room, is to attend to the affairs of the company. It's a duty of care. So if I appoint you a director and over a period of one financial year, you've not even attended the meeting once, am I not assessing your care? Your care is being assessed. So that provision is both statutory and ethical. Statutory because you find it in the laws, in KAMA, and ethical because it is in the governance codes that it is not enough to have been appointed. You must display reasonable care. You know, it is in other aspects we say he must also display the skill that we know him for. If you're appointing a director of a company, if that company is found wanting in matters of governance, won't you say, on that board, is there no charter secretary? Okay. Is that not the board where your mate is?
Somebody that is skillful in governance.
If your appointment on the board and finances are going the other way, won't you say, is there nobody on that board that knows something about financing, about accounting? So that is the duty. So attending meetings is in fulfillment of that duty of care.
Okay.
Failing which there can be penalty.
Okay. Yeah. That is taken. The code also provides that the minutes of the board meeting should be formally reviewed and approved by the members of the board or relevant board committees at its next meeting. What is the significance of this provision?
The question as posed will permit me to modify it. That aspect talking about all relevant board committees, which will expunge it. Okay. The minutes of the board is approved by the board, not all other committees. With due regard, to your own.
After being reviewed by the board.
Yeah, it is the board that should read and adopt its own minutes.
Okay.
And the importance of that is, until it is so reviewed and adopted, the chairman cannot sign it.
Okay.
And once it is signed, it becomes like law. It becomes like, this is what the company. Now, it goes beyond the board now. It is now a point of law to say that the company has agreed to do this.
Okay.
The company has resolved that this should be done. Let me give a typical thing that the board can decide. The board can decide, for instance, that the company should propose a change of name. The board can't do it. But the board can propose a change of name. It then goes to members in general meeting. If we can show minutes of the board where that proposal was made, it can't be said that the chairman said it.
Okay.
It will be said that the board has agreed and they are making a recommendation to the
Okay, wait a second. You mentioned the general meeting, and I'd like to ask this question so that you take it up.
Yeah.
What is shareholders meeting all about? You know, we have shareholders meeting apart from the board meeting.
Okay.
What is shareholders meeting all about?
You have to understand certain things.
Okay.
You know, in our earlier discussion, we agreed that the director stands in fiduciary.
Okay.
That they're like trustees. Who is the beneficiary of the trust? Even though that trust is not legal, it's not in the real sense of trust, but if we say they act in fiduciary, somebody somewhere must be the beneficiary of that behavior of them, which we say must be as though they are trustees. Okay. These are shareholders. So the significance of shareholders meeting is to receive account of these trustees.
Okay.
You see, when you see companies saying there's going to be an AGM, blah, 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 it doesn't matter how many shares the directors altogether control. Even if they control 99.99%, that 0.01% is a representative holding, which they must come once in a year to give accounts to say, well, we the directors, we are giving account of our stewardship of your company in the last 1 year.
Okay.
We post this profit and we are glad to give you a dividend. So the significance, therefore, of an AGM is to provide an avenue for the directors to give accounts to members in general meeting. That is one key role.
Okay,
function. Other things there are statutory.
Okay.
Lay the accounts, approve dividend, re-elect directors, because you cannot elect yourself as a director. You cannot be a trustee and appoint yourself trustees. It must be members in general meeting. So these are the significance of AGMs, that members in general meeting will have an opportunity of appointing.
Okay. With the understanding of the board meeting and the shareholders meeting,
yes,
what are the advantages that are accruable for having shareholders meeting in the realm of corporate governance?
Participation. The whole idea of corporate governance when it comes to annual general meeting or any general meeting for that matter is that ample opportunity should be given to members to participate.
Okay.
And that is what brought about some kind of critiques. I know you are busy, I won't take your time. No, that is not in corporate governance. In corporate governance, spend all the time with these guys. Explain facts to them. Give them fact behind the figures. Give them narrations and allow them to ask questions. That is why for those companies that are listed, you will see in addition to the notice, as a note to that notice, an alert that shareholders, you are entitled to ask questions at the AGM. Even before the AGM, you may submit your questions for consideration. It is their right. So the significance of meetings with members is essentially to provide an avenue for these shareholders to actively participate. What they couldn't have done in the last 1 year, because they couldn't have gone to the company to be holding the tools, they should have that one opportunity to review the books, ask questions, and do all sorts of things.
Okay, thank you very much that we understand that shareholders must participate and the meetings provide the avenue for them. This question is two-in-one question. I want you to answer the two questions in less than 60 seconds because of our time. It has to do with corporate governance evaluation and board evaluation. You know, there are two key areas that are becoming more and more popular in corporate governance parlance today. Now, what are the role of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators, which I belong, you are a fellow and a council member of the Institute? What role can they play? One, in conducting this evaluation for companies that need them. And secondly, what role can they play for capacity building for professionals that are desirous of acquiring more knowledge of these two subjects, that is corporate governance evaluation and board evaluation?
Well, I think I'll just give you information.
Okay.
At the Secretariat today, we have a register of our members who conduct board and governance evaluation.
Okay.
So the Institute has already taken that responsibility, being the hub of governance in this country, to say, look, people want this service. Our members can provide it. Open a register. We have members with firms, and they do not much aside from governance practice, which include board evaluation and governance evaluation. Board evaluation attends to the board as a whole and individual directors. Are they up to task? Governance evaluation look at the entire governance structure and compliance framework of the business, taking a checklist of the provisions and principles of the governance and auditing if this company complying. Whereas for directors evaluation, we are looking at Dr. Odeyemi. Is he a man capable of discharging this function?
Thank you very much, Mr. Adebanjo. That's where we wrap it up today. It's been a pleasure discussing with Mr. Adebanjo on board of directors meetings. I would like to invite you to join us again next week, same station, same time. My name is Tunde Odeyemi. Bye for now.
Corporate Governance Platform, a program from Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, is now at your doorstep.
By the way, what is corporate governance and what are its key pillars?
Will there be any conflict of interest if our person combines the roles of our chairman and a chief executive officer in a corporate organization?
What can Nigeria do to gain international recognition in the context of the application of corporate governance?
These and many more questions will be answered on
Corporate Governance Platform, a program designed to inform and educate our numerous viewers on the adoption of corporate governance best practices by corporate entities.
Join the Corporate Governance Platform crew every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. on MITV, your talent station via DS.